There's a lesson in every track, and the lesson in this one is that waiting longer can actually help the dog too, especially a dog like Jaeger. I'll try to explain. Over the years of working with him, he's frankly become bored if the scent is too easy, too fresh, and he'd rather be hunting than tracking. And something like gut scent will just peg his hunting meter very, very quickly and send him off wanting to hunt. And I try to explain to people that Jaeger has like a dial. On the left side is tracking, on the right side is hunting. There is no zero on the dial. The only time Jaeger is ever zeroed out is if he's asleep inside. If he's outside, he's either tracking or hunting. And the best way to keep him focused is to give him a little bit of a challenge. If it's too much scent, it'll just send him into a frenzy, and he'll want to hunt and track every fresh scent he finds. He won't necessarily stay focused on the one we want him to stay focused on. That's what happens here. I make some mistakes, he makes some mistakes, but in the end, teamwork prevails. Enjoy the video.
We're tracking, bud. We're tracking. Oh yeah, that's not a good sign. No, that's like, that could be intestine. We'll come back and look at that in closer detail. Hopefully this is quicker. Yeah. Where'd it go, Jaeger? He may, and it's so fresh, you may sort it out. And y'all did no looking around, right?
I'll recap a few things here because they impact the bigger picture. First, Hans knew that this deer was in a group of deer. He knew he had gut shot it. We'd only waited a couple hours, which is always a risk. Usually my minimum on a gut shot is 6 to 12 hours. I usually want at least 12. But circumstances just prevented that in this case. And so at the beginning there, Jaeger was actually eating gut contents. He was really excited, and he runs to a point where the line was fully taut, he just dives into the woods. He's hunting at this point. There's so much scent around that he actually didn't go back to the right line. When that line went taut, he just turned and was like, I'm going to go find it. I'm going to go hunt it. And that was the first mistake. I should have recognized his energy level, and I should have let him go back and kind of sort out that start loop. It's not uncommon for him to run a loop at the beginning, then set on the line. In this case, he didn't actually get back there, so he just dove into the woods, and now he's hunting and tracking at the same time.
And he may well be hovering. Like, I'm not looking for sign right now. I'm just kind of reading him. Because he'll often shadow a fresh line downwind and where the deer actually ran.
I'll put a link above to a video that reinforces why I made that statement about the tracking downwind on fresh lines. And it's to the Vic Buck track. Now, that was a track, gut diaphragm shot, also relatively fresh, only a couple hours later. And in that case, similarly, he wanted to stay on a line of live deer, but he brought himself back after about 30 yards going past the carcass and back to the buck.
Seen no sign yet. But you thought you heard a crash in here somewhere? Somebody's gonna have a cool photo on their game camera right there. Jaeger's on a mission, but still. All right. If he's vocalizing, that means there's likely a live deer close. Look for eyeballs. Oh crap. Well, Jaeger just got stuck in barbed wire. If any other fences you guys know of, shout them out to me. Did you just cut yourself? All right. Jaeger, let me see your face. Hang on. Did you just cut yourself all to bits? My professional advice is that you stop. If he's barking, your deer's likely alive and moving. We can go back and reset and see where he goes, because I've seen no sign, but and he could be on another live deer at this point. So we can go back and reset, and he may just be on a, come on, come on, come on. He may just be on another deer. That's why I don't like doing fresh tracks. Come on. All right, pal. Drink it up, bud. Just hope you didn't cut your face open on that barbed wire.
Let's pause here for a quick GPS recap of what's happened so far. So blue pin notes the stand, red pin notes the initial shot site. We kind of left the food plot, moving slightly downhill through the woods until eventually we hit that creek. You can just kind of see that sharp jog where he hit the barbed wire, and then we crossed the creek, and then based on his barking, I knew he's tracking live deer at this point. He's basically hunting. And so we called him off and gonna let him drink some and do a reset back at the start point.
A bit.
Yeah, that's
blew its stomach out.
yeah, and there's
a piece of hair right there. So
well, I see meat. I see white hair. Okay, Jaeger's eating it.
I think it went in right there. More.
Jaeger here. And there's white belly fur.
Maybe a little low in the stomach.
Yeah. Not a good sign. But let's see if he takes a different line. And if we can confirm.
At this point, there's just kind of a bunch of mixed emotions going on in my head. I know we're going to find this deer. It's clearly a severe gut shot. We will always find those deer as long as it stays on the property. But I also know how much harder a lot of tracks have become because the deer simply wasn't given enough time. So I'm concerned with bumping a live deer. I'll put a link above to a video where the deer went a mile simply because it was bumped too soon. So we have now human spreading scent on the scene. Jaeger's fired up, but it's also warm. Hans has to leave. I know that the meat's going to spoil, the hide's going to spoil. So we make the decision, let's try to reset Jaeger. Maybe he's burned enough energy off where now he'll be more focused. So he's good. I'm going to let him keep trying to be good and try to work through the problem.
Is this the direction you heard the crashing? Now he's more on a determined. I wonder if he got on your other deer, but I still haven't seen any sign. Wow, he's being quiet. I got blood here. He's on it. He's on your deer now. Blood, blood, blood. Where's he at, Jaeger? Where's he at? Where's he at, Jaeger? Still don't like it for as hot as he was. Just hoping that's a big bullet that but he may well have just crashed through stuff. Jaeger's wanting to loop back. He's not showing me confidence here. Where'd it go, Jaeger? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Come on. This should be overwhelming. See if you can mark any more blood. I'm not seeing any more. I'm not seeing any now. I wonder if the crash you heard was just him running through brush. Jaeger. Another barbed wire fence here. All right, he's air scenting. He may have overshot it. I don't see any sign of a deer jumping this fence. The Jaeger's throwing his head up in the air. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Did you overshoot it? Did you overshoot it? Find it, Jaeger. Or are you just looking for it? I'm still... He's kind of heading back to where we crossed the creek, isn't he? Yep, here's the fence he got stuck in before.
This video was filmed in 2021, and I want to make a note that Jaeger missed the majority of the 2022 season because he ripped his ear apart on barbed wire.
I think he was shadowing a little bit, but I still think this exercise is, yeah. Okay, bud. I know, you're just hunting it now. I think your deer did not fall.
But we'd be better off
It,
to get on it in the morning.
very much.
Yep.
Come on.
I don't want to run it all the way to Kingdom tonight.
Well, that may,
I'm a
yeah.
little bit more confident in that. Yeah, I should have been there.
Come on, Jaeger. There was a little bit of blood picking up, and he may be dead in this creek somewhere, but, and there's just scent pooling. At one point there back there, Jaeger was throwing his head up, but like he was air scenting something, but that could just be he's just getting that desperate to try to find it, because I'm restraining him quite a bit.
There's still just a lot I'm processing here. We've agreed to leave, and it really is the best decision. But I also know I've seen Jaeger throw his nose up into the wind. We had blood at the beginning. He's still excited. And I've known from his past that when it's an easy track and there's multiple deer, he'll almost ignore the dead one to try to get to the other ones. Now, he's done that twice. But he's also thrown his nose up. We're heading back towards the area where he smelled blood. So instead of picking him up, which I will usually do for a reset to help calm him down, I'm letting him use his nose back into the wind.
Live. All right, we're back on the blood here. Jaeger. This is probably a good point to just... Jaeger, stay. Stay, hang on. Standing in blood. See here. Jaeger, stay. Look at that, hang on. I didn't see that earlier. Look at that huge piece of meat.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's a big chunk of abdomen.
That is fine.
Is that a testicle?
Well, things just got a little western, and I legitimately thought that I was looking at skinned scrotum. And I just kind of filed that away under weird stuff tracker C, because we see a lot of weird stuff. And I was just kind of back in the mindset still of, all right, this is just getting weird, but let's see where we are on X and try to figure out what in the world is going on.
I think it's just a big piece of stomach.
Oh, well, I thought I saw 2 lumps in it.
Yeah, I pressed on it.
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, Jaeger, stay. Okay. All right. All right. Can you hold this leash? Because we're all standing in scent like Jaeger. No. I guess no tomorrow right now. I'm gonna look at OnX quick and see if
We're right next to the road. Well,
no. So we're off. We're actually. We came back.
There's a shitload of blood here.
Oh yeah, no,
That's-
we're further off, I'm sorry.
So I just can't tell direction he was going there. That's the field is ahead of us.
There's blood right here.
But I'm wondering if he's still going.
So he came down through here.
Yeah, I think that's the going. But then it goes right to the creek thing where Jaeger went. So I'm gonna mark this.
I'll put it on mine too.
Cause this is, here's what happened. All right, so here's what's unfolded so far. And this is what can happen on fresh track, especially gut with the wind. So we started there. His first line took us down here to here. We called it off. We walked back. His second line got us right back. He was converging on the same point.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back to about where we Yeah, so I think there's a ton of scent in here on a running deer who's freaking out because his guts are being pulled out. It's okay, Jaeger. But you would think that right now, Jaeger, stay, that we'd be able to mark. Is that more bits there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
This is quite interesting.
Looks like he ran into the thorn vine and tore out whatever was.
I mean, look at all this coming down here.
Yeah.
See all that?
But here's what I want to look at here. Looking at the fingers for direction of travel here. See, it's tough because this stuff splatter. I mean, this is definitely just a hunk of stomach.
There's one there.
I see it.
A deer?
There.
Oh.
See the deer?
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Well, awesome.
Big old hole in it. Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
Good job, Jaeger.
Okay, Jaeger, come on. Nope.
Alright, survey says.
Finish it up. Where is it?
Piebald.
Is it? Thank God.
Majorly piebald.
Whew. Good boy, Jaeger.
Nearly as big as I thought.
Holy.
I'm good at
Okay. Well, that wasn't
Oh
a...
no. I owe you $50. Oh no. It's a piebald button buck.
Good boy, Jaeger. Well, we were gonna come back in the morning, but I think there was just a ton of scent in here.
Cool. All right, Jägermeister.
Well,
I can't believe that deer went as far as it did.
I can't either. Jaeger, you don't want to keep you don't mount this thing or anything?
Yeah, I kind of want
Jaeger, no, no.
hide off of it at the very least.
Yeah, then don't pluck it.
Come on, buddy.
Jaeger, come here. Here, let me just grab his leash. All right. Whoa.
All right, well, let's grab a hoof here. Which way's out? Stuck on thorns.
That way is the field.
That way?
Good boy, Jaeger. That was a weird one. You recall when I said he threw his head up and was air scenting?
Yeah.
That's what really got me wondering if he had overshot it.
Yeah.
And was on those other deer.
It almost seems like it doubled back.
And may have.
Because it definitely was down there further and then turned around and hit that thorn vine, and that's what ripped them apart.
Yeah. And on these fresh ones, fresh gut, there's just so much scent. He gets all excited.
Yeah.
But when he threw his head, I was like, man, I just feel like we're better off coming back tomorrow. But luckily, sometimes you get lucky.
As we look at shot placement here, it was just a low gut right behind the diaphragm and just basically removed its stomach completely by the time we had found it. Let's look at the Onyx now, overview of the entire track. So this is the first line where we started in the field, carried down the hill, eventually hit barbed wire, and then we crossed the creek. His barking was indicative of what he will do on live moving deer. So picked him up, backed out, and carried him for the most of the way back up to the field. Then we reset. He was a little more focused. We found some blood, but then he still wanted to carry on down to that creek where he knew the deer were before. But he also air scented down there. And usually I'll have faith in that air scenting, and you can see he kind of made a straight line back up the hill to the deer. Here you can see the two tracks overlaid where he most of his time was spent on the downwind side of where the scent was blowing, but eventually we found it. Now, this is an ugly track. I'm not going to deny that. I could have easily just buried this video and not shared it, but it's important to know your dog and know your dog's behavior and your decision making. And I also promised Hans that I'd edit it. So, Hans, there you go. I hope you had a good season. Glad you found your deer, and send me a pic of the rug when you get it. Thanks for following along. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. You can track us down on social media at JaegerTracks, #NoGangLeftBehind.